Hey everyone, did you know that floor-standing speakers can actually outperform bookshelf speakers in bass response while taking up less floor space than a full surround setup? It's true, and today I'm checking out the Klipsch RF-7 III Floorstanding speakers to see if they live up to that claim. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've been running these in my living room for a few weeks now, and I have to say, they've completely changed how I listen to music and watch movies at home. The first thing that stood out was the build quality. Klipsch went with a redesigned bifurcated cabinet here, which basically means they've minimized internal sound reflections so the speakers sound clearer and more accurate. That's not something you usually notice right away, but once you hear it, it's hard to go back to speakers that don't have that kind of engineering. The drivers are where these really shine. You've got a brand new 1 3/4 inch titanium compression driver paired with a 90 by 90 compressed mold rubber Tractrix horn. That combination delivers some seriously detailed highs without sounding harsh. I've played everything from classical to rock through these, and the top end never feels fatiguing, even at high volumes. That's a big deal if you like to crank up your music or watch action movies late at night without waking the whole house. Then there's the bass. These speakers have dual 10-inch cast basket cerametallic woofers and dual Tractrix ports. I was skeptical at first because floorstanders can sometimes sound boomy, but these are surprisingly tight and controlled. I've used them with a subwoofer, and they still fill out the low end nicely without overpowering the room. If you're setting up a 2.1 or 5.1 system, these can definitely handle the mid-bass duties on their own, which saves you from needing a separate sub in smaller spaces. Another thing I appreciate is how well they integrate with different setups. I've paired them with everything from a modest AV receiver to a high-end integrated amp, and they just work. The impedance is pretty forgiving, so you don't have to worry about blowing out your amp if you're not careful. That's a nice safety net for anyone who's still building their system or experimenting with gear. I also love the aesthetic. The black ash finish is sleek and modern, and it doesn't look out of place in a minimalist setup. The cabinet is sturdy, too, no rattle or vibration even when I'm pushing the volume. That's something you don't always get with speakers at this price point. Now, let's talk about a couple of things to keep in mind. First, these aren't tiny. They're about 43 inches tall, so if you're working with a small room, you'll need to plan your space carefully. They're not wall-mountable either, so placement is key. Second, while the highs are detailed, if you're a fan of super warm, rolled-off sound signatures, these might not be your cup of tea. They lean more toward accuracy and clarity, which is great for most music and movies, but it's a different flavor than, say, a warm-sounding vintage speaker. Overall, though, these are fantastic speakers for the price. They're versatile, well-built, and sound great out of the box. If you're in the market for floorstanders that can handle both music and home theater duties without breaking the bank, I'd definitely recommend giving them a listen. You'll find the link below if you want to grab a pair for yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Klipsch 106-4559 RF-7 III Floorstanding speaker black ash sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like all-new 1 3/4 titanium compression driver and 90 by 90 compressed mold rubber Tractrix horn actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Klipsch 106-4559 RF-7 III Floorstanding speaker black ash usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.